we should clap. Okay, just like just like clap. Oh, to check the sound. To make it.
Oh,
that was like
you got us looking stupid.
I thought it was a YouTube thing. Hello, my fairy god babies. 'Tis I, your fairy godmother, Alex Reed, and look who I'm here with. Please introduce yourself.
No, introduce me.
May as well.
I'm here with my very good friend who I haven't seen in a long time, Whitney Bay.
Hello, everybody.
And I'm sure you know her, but for anyone who does not, she is a YouTuber, and she lived in Korea for 8 years. And now we're here in this New York episode. Okay, and we have Chris.
Hello.
An expat, lived in Korea and China, and this is actually his first time in New York.
Yes. Oh my God. New York is very different than what I expected.
Well, we're happy to have
your voice cracked.
So I brought us all together because this is something that I've been wanting to discuss. I think we have all heard and we continue to hear rumors about racial stigma, particularly being Black in Asia, and everything from white being the ultimate beauty to Black being not beautiful at all to natural hair being not that cool. And so when I should introduce myself too. So
yeah.
I'm Alex Reed, and I debuted in a K-pop group in 2015. I was the leader and rapper, and
Leader. Don't forget that.
So before I moved there, I know that I definitely heard rumors, and I wasn't really sure what to expect, especially because I was going there to be in the public eye and to do something that really hadn't been done before, being non-Asian and being Black and being an idol. So I know that I had no idea what to expect. I'm wondering, what did you guys, think? What were your preconceived ideas before you moved?
Before going to Korea?
Yeah, like had you heard the rumors and all that?
No.
No?
Because I went to Korea, first time was 10 years ago. I had never met anyone who went to Korea besides my Korean friends. So I didn't know that. And then there wasn't like YouTube channels really talking about it. There was Eat Your Kimchi, but they weren't talking about things that I cared about. So I just went. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what to expect.
Is that shade?
Oh, is that shade? Come on.
Actually, so it was kind of the opposite. I mean, I also watched Eat Your Kimchi at that time because I got interested in Korea. That was like 13 years ago, maybe. So at that time, I was just mostly like into K-pop, like Korean dramas. But like I knew I wanted to go there eventually, so I did a lot of research.
Okay.
YouTube is a blessing.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew somewhat of what to expect, but when you're preparing for any place, you don't really know what it's like until you're actually there, experiencing it yourself. Research helps, but it doesn't prepare you mentally.
Right, and that's what I really want to just get through on this video, is that beyond what you hear, beyond all the rumors, beyond what you read, I want to just get down to real life experience. And just for this episode, I just want to tell the truth. I want, we're just going to tell our vulnerable truths today. So and
ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So let's just cut the rumors, cut all of that, and let's talk about race.
Okay.
That's the name of the series. You see, I did a little drop. And let's talk about race.
Okay, we need some kind of like movement.
Are we all let's talk about race? No.
Okay, that was cute. You can do that.
Let's talk about race. Oh, it was good. See, there's always one leader.
Always one person. Yeah. Know your role. Okay.
That's how
You're
harmonizing.
You're aesthetic.
He was like red.
I was the harmony red.
Okay. So first question.
You got questions?
When you got to Korea, did you experience any sense of not belonging based on, you think, your race? And be honest, please.
Okay, I'll be honest. I remember this so clearly. The first time I got to Korea, this was 2009. I remember I got on the plane and I was like, everybody's Asian. I was like, this is weird. Everybody's Asian. There was like really no foreigners. And then I got in the airport and I didn't really think about it, but I met up with the foreign family there because they invited me out, and then we went out to go eat. And just when we stepped out, because I was like with them in the car so much, I didn't really know like what was really going on. But we got out of the car and like we just stepped out, and I looked around the town, and I was like, everybody's Korean, everybody. And at that moment I was like, oh, I feel really self-conscious. Like I don't look like everybody else, and that's when I felt different. But then I guess like I just kind of got over it.
Was it just different, or was it out of place?
No, I felt, well, because I could speak Korean, because I studied Korean in my university, so I didn't have trouble communicating. So I think like that helped me a lot. But yeah, I just felt like everybody's eyes were on me. So it was like I knew very clearly, okay, I'm the odd one out here.
Yeah.
But then I never felt like, it wasn't so bad where I was like, I gotta leave. It was just like, okay, you know, I'm clearly different.
Right.
But
You felt it. Did you have a similar moment?
For me, it was actually kind of the opposite, because I had already had exposure to being like the one black dot in like a huge group of people that didn't look like me. Because in college, since high school, like all of my friends, besides like my best friend Jasper, like all of my friends were like Latino or Asian or white. So like for me, I was used to being like the only black dot. So then when I went to Korea, I went like 5 years after. No, Whitney, no shade. But it was my first time ever being outside of St. Louis. Oh my God. Like I had been to like Chicago like once or twice. It was my first time outside of St. Louis. It was the first time outside of America. So it was like more just like a thrilling experience. I was just like, oh my God.
So you didn't feel out of place?
Not at first. So when I first got there, I felt like, oh my God, like this is so awesome. Like, I wasn't really thinking about anything.
That's amazing.
And so I kind of went in like just like kind of pure-hearted, like not really thinking about like race, things like that.
Right.
Until, you know, later when I had to kind of think about it. So.
Yeah, I didn't feel particularly like out of place at first either. It wasn't until like the news broke, like it was all over the newspapers. You were there at the time, but it was like all over newspapers, and my company was like so excited. They kept showing me these newspapers, and I didn't speak Korean. I was like, what is it saying? And they're saying, you're the first black idol, you're the first black idol. And I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, well, like when I came, I was expecting, like I was chasing my dream. I was like expecting to just be an idol, you know, who's black, like, and not Asian. But I wasn't expecting it to be, she's the black idol. So at that point I was like, okay, like my race is really on the forefront, and that's when I started feeling like, okay, like I'm a thing, like we get it.
Actually I was in Korea at that time too, like when you're like I was in Korea 2016 to 2018.
Okay.
And I remember the first time I saw you, I was like at home, you know, I just had the TV on, and it was just like, who is this like stupid new girl group that I don't really care about? And then I was like, oh my God, that's a black girl. Oh my God.
We were waiting for that part. I was like, where's the no? I was like, you didn't say no shade. Where's the no shade?
No shade. But like I was in K-pop when it was, you know. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
I'm gonna just say it though. When Alex came, that's when K-pop started getting fun again.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like the same old stuff, and then Alex was like, okay, I'll look into this.
Because I went to Umak Junshin. What's the English name? Umak Junshin. Music Court. Sorry. I went to Music Court twice. And like, at that time, the only group I really liked was BTS, and I saw them twice, and I loved them.
Okay, dude,
but like,
stay on topic.
And so like at that time, K-pop really started to get like a little bit like repetitive, like it was just kind of like, it was really uninteresting. And then like I was watching TV, I was just like, okay, here's another group with like 25 members, and that's just like, oh my God, she's not Korean. Oh my God, she's black. Look at that hair. And so then I was just like started like researching like, who is this girl? I was like, Alexandra. Okay, wait. And she's like, okay, well she's black. Okay. You know?
We've all had very different experiences.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And I'm wondering, like, you speaking Korean and you speaking Korean, like I didn't speak when I got there, so I definitely like stuck out like a sore thumb, and it was like I couldn't communicate, and I definitely was an island. Like it was just like Alex, you know. But you guys were able to actually relate with the people there. So did you find that once like you were able to speak Korean, that they kind of accepted you more, that like it was like a mutual, connection.
Mm-hmm. You first?
Maybe we had different experiences. For me, pretty much the entirety of the time I was in Korea. So my closest Korean friends were actually, they were international students in my university and here in America, and like still to this day they're like my closest friends. Mm-hmm. But like when I was in Korea, it was still, even though I spoke Korean, it was still really difficult for me to make friends. And I don't know if it's like because of my skin color or if it's because I'm just a foreigner, period. But they would always say things like, it's weird speaking to like you in Korean,
right?
Because you're not Korean. Or like in Korea they have the honorific system like hyung, na, ni, oppa. And so they would always say like, oh, but you're not Korean, so I feel uncomfortable calling you hyung.
That's weird.
Oh, weird.
Yes. Like even though I spoke Korean, it was still like, but you're not Korean. Like you don't look like us. Whereas I had like Chinese friends who didn't speak Korean at all, but because they looked more similar to them, they felt more comfortable like, oh, he can be Korean, but you can't. Even though he doesn't speak Korean and I do, and like
interesting.
That is very. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Mine's actually totally different. Because I mean, it's similar. Because the reason why I went to Korea is because I had so many Korean friends in my university, and I was like part of their community. So I felt very comfortable around Koreans. So that's why it was so easy for me to go. So even when I was in Korea, people didn't treat me too much like a foreigner. Like they called me Onni. Girls would stop me, like when I first went, they would stop me on the street all the time. Onni, you're so pretty. Onni,
really? You're so pretty. Mm-hmm. Wow. All the time. I'm not saying that because you're not pretty. That is not what I mean.
This is
the shadiest trio.
I can't believe you pretty though. That was not what we were going for. I'm just amazed. Wow. That was actually. I mean, I have some rapid fire questions, but we're just gonna give one word answers. But anyway, that was wow.
Yeah. So I didn't like, and I think it's because like when I was in college, I would like meet Korean people and I'd be like, oh, oppa, and I would like speak to them in the cutesy Korean way, like learn how to speak like that. So people just like kind of took to me, and then in Korea the same thing happened. It's just like. I would be like, oh, 감사합니다. And they'd be like, oh, 아이고, oh. But
okay, well, older people are like, 아주만, oh my God, they love me.
Yeah.
But I had more trouble with people like our age, surprisingly.
I see.
Well, I'm not trying to brag, but I was told
She's not trying.
I'm not trying.
Bragging.
But when I first got to Korea, I was told I have a smile that Koreans like. So I was told I have the smile that Koreans like, and then so I would be like,
oh yeah, I can see it actually. Now that she says it, I can actually see it.
Yeah.
So then people,
it's really sweet.
I would like smile a lot in Korea, and then I think that helped people like me more. I don't know.
Yeah. I remember similarly, like that was one compliment I got repeatedly, and I actually hadn't heard of this before when I got there. Not the smile. No, I didn't get that. I don't think they like it.
Okay. So
They always said, you have such a small face.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
너무 조그매.
Yeah. And I was like,
I still don't know what that means.
I don't fully get it either. I think it has.
But like, do I have a small? I still don't understand. Do I have a small?
They tried to explain that it's because also sometimes they say like small head, small face, like small head, and I'm like,
because it's like all about proportions. So if you take a picture of yourself and you cut off your head, how many heads is your body? Like,
what?
So I feel like if you have like, you're like 5 heads tall, that's like a good proportion.
No shade.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you have a very like, because they do this. You put your fist up.
Oh my gosh.
You have a very small face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got a very big face. Sorry.
How's his face?
I mean,
like, are you supposed to be able to see his face around the fist?
No.
Oh.
But you have that. You have that fairy look that they like.
I don't.
Yeah, we don't have it, but you definitely have a small face. So I think
I was really like, I thought that was really interesting because at the time I had no idea what that meant. I was like, people keep telling me I have a small face, and then like finally someone was like, it's a good thing, and I was like, okay, I guess so.
So yeah, that was something that was like really like, because I feel like in America, in my experience, I didn't really grow up paying attention to people's face.
No one does.
Yeah, but like
you mean face shape or size?
Yeah,
Right,
so like in
like-
Asia, that's like a huge thing, like your nose and like your eyes and.
How do you know that though? Because I want to get through the rumors. Like I want to know, like, do we know that? Do we?
Yeah. So I was an English teacher in China and Korea, so for 4 years. So
Okay.
2 years in China, 2 years in Korea, and so like I taught adults always, and so we would have certain topics that might talk about like learning about body parts, things like that, or it could be talking about beauty. Like sometimes we might get into serious topics, and they would make comments about like, oh, this person has a small face. So I'm always so curious, and I really want to understand other people's culture, where they come from, and because culture, it's not about the country you're from. Even from the same country, we can have different cultures, like different upbringing. So I always ask questions like, what does that mean? Why would you say they have a small face?
That's
Yeah.
good.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
And they would say, oh, if you have a small face, it's beautiful. Then I would say, do I have a small face? And I'm like, no.
No. They
You
did the
ugly.
thing with it. What about you said something about no?
Yeah, so it's like kind of like the Eurocentric kind of, I guess, view of beauty. So like a lot of like European people tend to have like I still don't know how to explain it, but like the nose bridge or something.
Oh, I heard that about
Like
it being
this-
tall.
Yeah, it's like this part pokes out more. So I guess you have it.
Yeah,
That
my
you-
Chinese
that you
friend in the
have.
group told me, she was like showing me, she's like, so good, I want a higher nose bridge. And I was like, that's a thing? Is
Yeah.
that a thing in Korea too, or just China?
Both.
It might just be
Yeah.
an Asian.
Yeah, I think it's just like an Asian kind of thing. So
Okay.
I've never lived in Japan, but I know like China and Korea, they both have like a very similar
Yeah.
view of like beauty. So like the nose and like you have to have a small button nose, I guess they call it, and then like double eyelids, which I didn't know what double eyelid was until I had
Right,
Asian friends.
right.
But it's just like when you have the eye fold.
Yeah.
or
So it almost
something.
sounds like in
I
theory,
feel-
they like the like an Americanized or a European, like it sounds like they like that.
Well-
so they don't not like it. They think that's beautiful.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
I think the easiest way to explain it is kind of like an elf look. No, like Yojang.
We're good. And
No,
big eyes.
not
like Link from Zelda.
Yojang, the elf, like fairy.
A
Fairy,
Fairy
sorry.
godmother
I
Reed.
Sorry.
Let's go.
I thought they were screaming in English like Yoja.
No, Yojang. It's
Yeah.
like a little fairy. So like a lot of Russian girls have this like really small
Yeah.
face and kind of like you. So that's what people
Okay.
like.
So yeah, especially
Like
like,
that.
especially so like typically what I've heard like in actually both China and Korea, it's typically like Russian women or like Ukrainian women
Yeah.
are considered like the most beautiful people in the world.
They got, like,
By like and that's like kind of what they I guess idolize as far as like standards of beauty.
that's like the highest standard of beauty, I think.
So did
Right
you,
now.
did you
Yeah, but it changed.
Did you feel like overall? Would you say you felt beautiful living in Korea?
I don't know if I really thought about it.
Like just like not even like a thought. Just like did you have it? Like did you feel insecure about your looks or did you feel beautiful?
Oh, I mean, there was one point where I was living in Gangnam where I thought about plastic surgery a lot. Not that I wanted to do it, but you just see it everywhere, so you just think like, man, like do I need to fix something, or like how can I make my face look clear, whatever. So there's
Like were you thinking like by what Korea thinks is beautiful? Like was-
yeah, just like the small chin and like all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, maybe I should do like the massage around my face. So there was a point, a small, very short face, where I did kind of think about like, oh, this is a standard of beauty. Like, how can I fit in a little bit? But then I stopped caring.
Yeah, I mean, I think like obviously you're very confident and that comes through, but I think like when you're surrounded by something and everybody telling you one thing, it's easy to start looking at yourself and questioning. I mean, it's even as simple as like Instagram, like living in America, living anywhere and looking on Instagram and everyone's telling you this is what's beautiful, telling you this is what's beautiful, and then you look at yourself and you're like,
Exactly.
But I felt like, I think overall, I didn't feel particularly beautiful in Korea. Yeah, I really didn't. I really felt I felt like I got looked straight through a lot. Like I felt like in America, like there was this eye contact where there was like a connection and like, I don't know, like more people kind of acknowledged me and like thought like I was pretty, like, and I felt like over there I did feel a bit invisible sometimes. This was more before I debuted. I didn't feel as invisible after I was on TV. But then for the rest of the time, I feel like it came more from like it's not that like I thought I wasn't beautiful, but I just didn't feel beautiful. I didn't feel pretty, like, and also I think it was a lot of me for my weight. Like I felt like I was a size 4. Start a fire, I was a size 2. Make me I was a size 0. And at no point did I feel like I was thin enough. Like I always felt like it wasn't enough for me to like take action on it and try to fix it, because I felt like there was nothing I could do. Like it was my curves and just my body. But I think my main reason why I didn't feel beautiful was A, the invisibility factor, and B, the weight thing.
So for me, it was the same experience as like you, in regards to like weight. Like I never, cause I mean, I'm not like, people don't view me, I'm not a woman. So people, I guess, didn't put that same pressure on like my face. But like since I'm very big.
You're not very big.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not very big.
You're your size.
In America, there are people bigger than me. But in Korea, like I was always like the elephant in the room, like literally, I was like an elephant to them. So like doing most activities was very like stressful, because like in Korea, people love hiking. You know, I mean, really restaurants.
I didn't know that.
Yes, oh my God, it's like huge. I like hiking too. I love hiking.
Miss me with a walk.
Okay, I love hiking, but like for me, it was like, can we go like a little slow? And it was like, no, you just fat, so come on. Okay, but or like going to restaurants, you know, many restaurants you have to sit on the floor. I can't cross my legs, so it's like I have to like be spread out and stuff like that. And so for me, that part was kind of difficult. So I just always felt like, wow, I am so fat. But at the same time, I just knew that like it was something like that wasn't gonna change overnight. But like for me, it was kind of, the mental trauma came because I was like, well, you know, growing up in America, especially, we're like taught like you should love yourself for how you are, blah blah blah. So for me, it was like, well, I like my size, I don't really care. But in Korea, it's like, but you're fat. And I'm like, well, I should lose weight. But I'm like, no, I don't want to lose weight because they want me to. Then it was just like this constant battle. I always felt like, well, I'm fat and they don't like me. But like most of my dating experience has been in Korea. So then I started feeling like, you know, you know, because some of them, they do like some, you know, meat on their bones, like some St. Louis style barbecue, you know, some baked beans or something.
When I wasn't a vegetarian, I sure liked some St. Louis barbecue. Okay.
So then after, like being able to like date a little bit, like kind of helped boost my self-esteem up. But then like certain guys I would see, and I was just kind of like, oh, like, oppa. And like, no, they're not ever gonna look at me because I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not skinny enough, you know, I'm not a girl, you know, I'm not white. So I actually, you know, did start internalizing more about like race too, especially because, you know, the center of beauty was like always European.
Yeah, you know what, I did want to say, the thing is, it's funny because there's a difference between like being told you're beautiful and feeling beautiful, because the truth was like backstage, people told me I was beautiful so much. Like the guy idols who like I loved, you know, would always like, you know, smile and, you know, try to talk, and like it was like, okay, like they didn't think I was ugly, but for me it was just like an internal thing where maybe it was just being surrounded by people who didn't look like me or whatever it was. I didn't feel it, you know, even though I would hear it, I didn't feel it. And it's interesting because like you were having this internal battle with yourself where you're like, I'm not going to change for them. Wait, but I want to, you know, fit in, but I want to, you know, and I don't want to feel bad. It's really interesting. Like it's never as easy as snapping your fingers and just being comfortable in your own skin, no matter what the external is.
That's what I'm starting to learn now. A lot of just the pressures like in society, it's obviously there are pressures, but a lot of the biggest like scars that people carry with us are a lot of times that internal battle of, am I not good enough? When I feel like I should be good enough. Why am I not good enough? And it's not necessarily that, it's not always that people are telling you you're not good enough, but it's just kind of like you just feel it.
I mean, this is a mukbang.
No one's smoking. I don't know. No one's smoking in this bong. I don't know. Help me.
That's so weird. Like when you were active, when you were acting
I think so.
on
yeah.
promotion?
Yeah, promoting when I was promoting. Mhm.
Did you ever read the comments that people left in like articles and stuff?
On articles? No.
Because the articles were like, people are always so positive. They're like, she's so pretty. I really hope she makes it far. Like, I feel like the public really thought you were very, very pretty, and they were cheering for you.
That's really nice. I felt that, like, I only read like when people at me, and I don't read it that much. Like, I don't do that much of that reading. But like, I felt like the people who were adding me were really, really positive.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where they came from. You know, I don't know, like, because in my experience, like, I was getting so much support. Like, like Korean fans were amazing to me. So
really nice.
I didn't know if like the positivity was just coming from the Korean fans, because I even heard somebody told me that like a lot of the Chinese fans, I didn't read it, but they said a lot of the Chinese fans had beef with the idea of me being allowed in a K-pop group. It wasn't about beautiful or not. It was just like, she's not Asian, you know, she's black. Like, they were using the N-word. They were saying all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah, somebody did like send me a few screenshots. And I was like,
What the heck?
The first time I
would like to not read these.
The first time I ever got called the N-word to my face, well, the first and only time I got called the N-word to my face was in China.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
It was in China.
What? How?
Okay, I was in Beijing, so this was.
It was in 4 years ago?
4 years ago.
Mine was when I was 6 years old.
I've never.
I might have been 5 actually. But go ahead.
No, I feel like I've never
Call a 6-year-old way.
I mean, this is America.
But see, like, that's the thing, because you're from the suburb. Okay, sorry, no shade.
No, I was in somewhere else, but okay.
Okay, but like I've never actually encountered racism in America. I know, different experience.
Maybe you're not really from the hood then.
Maybe you're not realizing it because you are
I guess
from the
I
hood.
am from the hood.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, I'm not going to speculate on your experience, but yeah, the first
Sorry,
time you
continue.
No, I think
Sorry.
because I am from the hood, like I only grew up around black people, so like I never had the chance to really experience racism until I went to Asia. I went to Asia, like I studied abroad in Korea when I was in university. Then as soon as I graduated, I went straight to Asia. So I went to China.
Yeah.
We were in like this shopping area, so similar to like Dongdaemun, I guess. And we were like just on the street, and then in China they have this like tea scam where they like try to find like, you know, unsuspecting victims. They're like, oh, like, or especially like tourists, especially. So like, oh, do you want to like come to like have tea or something like that? Blah blah blah. And like they kind of you know wrap you in or rope you in to like, you know, treat you to like a nice dinner or whatever. But then they'll like go to the bathroom. Or like, but they're actually like leaving, and then you have to pay this like expensive bill because they're like in cahoots with the like. It's like a scam.
Oh my gosh.
And so I already knew, and I already spoke Chinese, and like I knew about the scam, so I was just like, no, thank you. It's just
so what was the scam? Just to get a free tea?
It's just to get your money. So they
For
whoever
the
scammers.
Oh, for the restaurant.
Yeah, they work with the restaurant to
I see,
get your money.
sorry.
It'll be like $500, something like that. And so I knew about the scam, and this lady just kept pestering us, and then I said the Chinese equivalent to like "gaja." So "gaja" is like
Get lost.
Yeah, get lost. I tried to be polite with it, but I was still kind of like, "Get lost, please." And then we were like walking away, and she was like, "You're all a bunch of," and she said it like 5, because I was with my black friend at the time, so she said like 5 times. I didn't hear it until the 5th time, and I just grabbed my friend by the wrist, and I was like, "Let's go!" And I started running, and my friend was like, no, it's dark out here. We can like, get her. And nobody would know. But I just
was your friend from the hood too?
No, actually no. She's this bougie girl from LA.
Oh, they'll do it too. Yeah, we're about it.
But, so like, and I didn't know, because it was my first time experiencing this. I didn't know what to do except run, because I didn't want to react in any certain way.
Yeah.
So let's just go right now. Oh my God, like I can't believe this.
Did that make you like when you hear that? Does that make you feel like it's hate coming from her, or does that make you feel like it's ignorance?
From her, I thought it was hate, because I'm like, because this is in China. I'm like, you don't really speak English, but that's what you know. Like, you know this one sentence out of all the English you can learn. So yeah, I was just like, that's definitely hate. But like a lot of my other experiences, I know that it was definitely like ignorance. So I always try to use that, you know, as an opportunity to teach them. But it was like an everyday thing. It was so tough.
What about you? Did you feel like you attributed any kind of like, I mean, I don't know if you experienced anything that you would attribute to either like hate, racism, or just plain ignorance?
Oh yeah, for sure. Lots of stuff. I mean, a lot. I don't know where to start. I mean, it was like never anything.
Anyone.
It was never anything so bad where I was like, I need to get out of here, because I experienced more racism in America than I did in Korea, for sure. But yeah, I guess like ignorance. Okay, I don't think I've ever told a story. But one time, I was at a party. I went to a dance school and I was at a party, and this older guy came. He's like maybe in his 60s. This older Korean guy.
Oh.
And he was like a businessman, so he traveled around the world. And he's like, oh, and he spoke some English. He's like, are you from Africa? I was like, no, I'm not from Africa. I'm from America. Ah, you're from Africa. I was like, I don't know where I'm from. I could be. I don't know. And then he's like, how many kids do you have? I was like, I'm not married. I don't have any kids. He's like, I know African women have many kids. And I was like, I'm 23. I don't have any kids. And he would not drop it. And he just kept bringing it up. And I was like, this guy's just very ignorant.
Did you feel like he was just trying to be funny, making a joke, or he actually thought you had children because you're
that ignorant
from Africa?
I guess he went somewhere in Africa
and people had kids.
That's what and he just I think he was just that ignorant about what the world and Americans, because a lot of people, when they see black people in Korea, they don't realize that we could be from America. Usually it's Jamaica, Africa, Cuba, just the most random places.
I always got Cuba. I always got Cuba, Brazil, and India.
India. You never got Jamaica?
I never got Jamaica.
I got Jamaica a lot.
Yeah.
And so they don't really, a lot of people don't know what the black American life looks like.
Right.
So it's kind of cool that I did YouTube, because I got a chance to just show them and just be myself. And people are like, oh.
Well, what confused me is that they would never guess that I was from America, but they would always say, oh, you look like Shaq. You look like LeBron James.
Where are they from?
And I'm just like, so do you think we, because basketball is the most popular sport in China.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm just like, so do you think we import all the black people from Africa? I'm so confused. You're telling me I look like Shaq, who's from America.
Yeah.
But
also, isn't that funny, because you don't look like Shaq?
I don't look like Shaq.
And you don't look like LeBron James?
Well, okay, Shaq.
They tell me you look like Beyonce. I'm like, no, I don't.
Well, Shaq, I was like, okay. LeBron James, I was like, now you trying it.
I mean, wait, I was gonna say, there were some people that, that were a little bit, had some ignorant things to say, but I think in general, most people are pretty cool. And they were open and they wanted to learn, most people.
Yeah.
But then there's some people who just haven't been out of their bubble.
Yeah.
But did you feel like even though they were the ones who were being nice and polite, like you said, there were some ignorant, but mostly you think it was all, nice and polite. Do you feel that they actually did feel a way and they just weren't expressing it? Or do you genuinely feel like you were all the same to them? Like it's, you know what I mean? They weren't judging you on your skin tone at all.
I think for me, I'll help you. No, I think for me, just as people, just in all over the world, we judge people based on how they look, whether we like to admit it or not. And so in America, when you see people who are different, we already have those preconceived notions of okay, maybe they're this kind of person. It's in Korea, or even in China, it's the same. They're just kind of okay, well, you're black, and this is what I know about black people from TV or through the media. So then they just assume that about you.
And it's just because they don't have firsthand experience.
Right.
Basically the same way that we're doing this discussion, because most people who hear the rumors don't have firsthand experience of what it's like. Yeah.
And you can watch as many YouTube videos as you would like until you go there. Because the worst experience I had, of course, was the N-word. In Korea specifically, there's this game called Overwatch. Have you heard of Overwatch?
Yeah.
So there's this
Diva.
character. Yeah, but I like Mei. She's like, "Don't push it though." Sorry.
Okay.
It's that first person shooter? I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
It's like the first. It's like the original. It's like the original Fortnite. Okay. Do you know Fortnite? No. Okay, it's a game. Anyway,
Fortnite.
There's this character called Winston, who is an ape.
A monkey.
I think he's a gorilla. Anyway, he's an ape character.
Okay.
And so I went to a language exchange, and this guy told me I looked like Winston.
I thought that's where this was going, and I was hoping it wasn't
going. And so
going
in America, we know
Yeah.
that if like a white person says that a black person looks like a monkey, that's racism. Whereas like in Asia, like for him, I just kind of assumed, okay, maybe he didn't know.
Okay.
So I told him if he said to another black person, something bad might happen.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything bad. You know, it's just like, don't say that.
Yeah.
You know, for him, it's kind of like, oh, you have glasses and you have the same skin color, so you look like this.
Yeah.
So you think he didn't mean anything by it? He just
Right.
didn't know any better.
There's
I
a
still
lot
felt
of
offended.
that. I agree there.
I was still offended, but I was
Yeah.
like, okay, he didn't know
A lot of people
better.
don't know.
So I was
Yeah.
like, don't say that again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've had bad conversations so many times.
Yeah.
But I think in Korea, for a lot of people, because this is the excuse everyone always makes. They have the fastest internet in the world. They can just look it up. Nobody's looking up like.
No.
Well, when you don't know what to look up,
Yeah.
that's the thing. But
Yeah.
no one's looking that up.
Yeah.
But
Well,
people just don't put two and two together.
I think for a lot of, like, for at least from my experience, people learn when they meet you one-on-one. So a lot of people, I could see them change when I talk to them and I explain things about my culture, where I'm from, when I talk to them one-on-one. But if I just like, otherwise, if they just like see something in the news, it doesn't click with them. So it has to be like a personal connection for things to change.
Right.
So I feel like even like people who are gay in Korea, like a lot of people are homophobic.
Oh my God.
But until you meet a gay person, then you change. Like you need that personal connection to make that change.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of found. But
So for me, it was really, Korea was toughest because I was gay and black. And so every day it was like a battle. It was like, yeah, don't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't say that either.
Right.
Like
Right.
gay men are also real men. You know, it was because it's like the impression like, oh, you're not a real man. And it's just like, okay. So for me, it was like really tough dealing with like both of those things. But
Yeah.
there's lots of ignorance.
I
But we
think
attribute it. I think it seems like we all kind of think it's not as much malicious. I guess it's not
Right.
malicious as it is ignorance. And then I think it just takes patience. That's what I learned. Actually, I didn't really. The truth is, I was getting kind of fed up at a point about things. And I feel like when I met you, I think I said to you like, everybody's staring at us, like me and you and Amanda, and I was like, literally, I'm tired of being stared at.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I don't know, because like, you know, sometimes it was just fans and they were shy and it was cute and it was nice, and other times it was like, I just feel like I don't like you're staring at us. Like there's three of us walking and everybody's like, you know. And I think you actually said, you're like, yeah, you know, they just don't see that many black people. And I was like, well, I don't see that many black people here either. Like, you're right, good point.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. And at that point, I think that's when I actually brought my patience back and was like, okay, like it's true, you know. It's, but when you endure it a lot, it does kind of start to
like
boil.
when you're living in it like every day, then it really just kind of builds up, you know. And that can happen anywhere. That's what I'm really starting to learn now, because for me, I was living in Asia for 4 years, and like 4 years straight, I'm just like, I'm so sick of Asia. I'm so sick of Asia. Like people doing this, people doing this, people doing this. Then I came to New York, and I'm like, oh my God, this stuff happens here too.
oh my gosh, yes, the maintenance guy. I was walking in, the maintenance guy, he was like, oh, you like Obama? I was like, I guess.
What?
I love Obama, yes.
I mean, I do.
Right.
I was just like, so
Right.
it does happen everywhere.
Yeah.
And then
So
we
that's
can say the same
definitely-
about
yeah.
us too, because
Yeah.
I have said
Maintenance-
some bad things to Korean people just not knowing.
Really?
So,
what?
yeah.
I'm interested. That's
For
crazy.
example.
I'm curious.
I don't
Maybe
know.
I have
I've
too.
just-
I
You
don't
can
know.
whisper.
I don't know. I know for sure I've said things and they're like, I don't know. I can't think right now.
It would
But
be
I
really
know
good
I've
if you would
gotten
come up with just
corrected.
one.
Let me think.
Even here in America, like we talk a lot about racism between like white people and black people. We don't talk about racism against like other groups of people. And so, like for example, like people say ignorant comments about Asian people or Latino people, and I'm like, oh shoot, like
Yeah.
there's ignorance everywhere, even in
Everywhere.
America.
Absolutely.
Like
For
you know,
sure.
I
Yeah,
remember.
especially in America.
And I'm just like, I remember like, you know, talking about like, oh yeah, I lived in Korea, and they're like North Korea or South Korea.
Yeah.
Right,
And they think it's
right.
a joke. And I'm just like, in South Korea.
South Korea.
Or, you know, just like, oh, Korea, konnichiwa.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
My favorite.
My favorite is, oh, so you speak Chinese?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
And then how do you like politely without being like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, actually, Korean. It was, you know, Korea.
Yeah. But then I realized that I was also ignorant to some things because like I grew up speaking Mandarin. And so like for me, Mandarin was Chinese.
Uh-huh.
So then when I came back and I was like, oh yeah, I speak Chinese. They're like, oh, Mandarin or Cantonese. I'm like, that's a valid question. Oh shoot.
Yeah, it's
Mandarin.
Yeah. So it
And
goes
so
both
then, you know,
ways.
there's just things you don't realize that you say or that you do or the way you think. And so that's kind of how I'm like, oh, well, they don't know either. They don't know that saying this is not okay.
Yeah.
You know, or even small things like eating spicy food. Like I grew up eating spicy food. I love spicy food. I handle spicy food way better than anyone I've ever met in my life.
Okay.
But for them in
Not
Korea,
better than me, but that's for sure.
Try.
Go on.
Try me.
No, seriously.
Try me.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. We can do it. Sorry, I love spicy food. Like if I go one day without eating spicy food, I'm just like,
Okay, what is
Okay,
the Oh
You know what? You know, we're just gonna go to our rapid fire
Alex,
now.
yes,
we're
go to
getting
the
on
next
topic
question,
here.
please.
Okay, here we go. This is my
Boy.
rapid fire question. This is based on just rumors that are out there.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever this is all firsthand, and just give me a yes or no. Ever firsthand experience been encouraged to whiten your skin?
yes.
No.
Ooh, yes. So many times.
So many times.
So many times.
China or Korea?
Both.
Never.
Both. Like they said, you'd look so much better if you whitened your skin.
Another student was like, "Oh, do you drink lemon water? If you drink more lemon water, your skin will get lighter." I was like, "Lemon water? What?" Yeah.
Never got that.
Okay. I didn't get that exactly. Yeah, I got it. I felt like, in a sense, I was constantly being retouched. I felt like I was being retouched to look white. And then it was funny because then I would post pictures that other people took or other people edited. And then my fans would be like, are you bleaching your skin?
Oh my
or like,
gosh.
oh, you're whitewashing. I didn't even know what whitewashing meant. And I'm thinking like, hold on. Like, first off, no. Like, no. But then I started to realize, like, yeah, they really are editing me lighter for sure. And then also makeup wise, I felt like if ever they did my makeup, they were always making me whiter. So it's just kind of like, okay, so that's the truth. They do, you know, it's the truth. I feel like that rumor is pretty valid, that they like, you know, to lighten the skin. Okay, next question. Were you ever called ugly to your face?
By my friends, yes, as a joke.
As a joke.
But never, no. People always said I was pretty.
So I was never called ugly, but it was kind of made clear that, because I'm considered cute in Asia, but it was always kind of made clear that like some of my white coworkers, they could be like handsome or sexy, but I was
But you
always
weren't that.
That's so funny, because now that I think about it, when my teacher mentioned you, she's like, he's so cute.
Yes, everyone calls me cute.
Like, he's
so
really
I,
cute.
I take it as a compliment because I like being cute.
But that is how your personality is. You have a very
Yeah,
cute
it-
personality.
But I always
personality.
felt like, oh, so I can't be handsome or sexy because I'm not.
Well, you gotta act sexy to be called sexy, and I ain't seen it.
You know what?
No shade?
Alex,
Shade,
has
shade
anyone
it,
ever
shade it.
called you ugly?
I wasn't
No,
called
surely not.
ugly, but I was told quickly when I got there, like in those words, your hair is ugly.
Wow.
And I was like, it's the first time I got that, you know? Because like in
weird.
America, it's like, people are like, oh, you know, big curly hair, cool. Yeah, so that was like, and then it was repeated. And then I started to get really annoyed. Like, they're like, no, ugly. And I'm like, no, pretty. Like, I started saying that back and forth. Be like, no, it's pretty. And they're like, no, it's ugly. And I was like,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I never
crazy.
got ugly for my hair, but like when I had like my fro was like a little bit bigger, they would call me broccoli hair. Like, they would call me broccoli because they said I look like broccoli. And it's like,
they get creative too.
yeah, so creative. I'm like, I don't think you look like spaghetti.
They
like,
do roast.
I don't
That was
understand.
creative. Good job.
I'm just like, I'm like, what? So yeah.
Okay, next rapid fire question. Were you ever told you need to lose weight?
Oh my God, yes. Every day. Just yesterday, from a Chinese coworker.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
I'm sure, because you're like in entertainment, I'm sure.
Yeah, entertainment's a different ballgame, but yeah. You?
No.
Well, you're so skinny.
Yeah.
If anything, it was like, you need to eat more, eat healthier, just that kind of stuff, which is also annoying, but.
For people, I'll just one at a time. For people who want to move out to Korea, specifically people who are not of Asian descent, you know, obviously we're coming from a place, but would you have any advice for people considering moving to Korea who are not of Asian descent?
A lot of advice.
Give me your best advice. One key point.
One. Just one.
Okay. I think, okay, so me, So I've really grown as a person. Like I'm trapped, like going back and forth. I think the strongest piece of advice I can think of is most of the things that happen in Korea that you'll experience in Korea happens in other places too. If it doesn't happen to you, it happens to other people. So you have to realize that, okay, maybe in America it's better for me than Korea, but in America there are people here who experience the same thing you experience in Korea. So we have to really remember to try to treat each other like we're all the same people. You know?
That's good advice. Mine would just simply be go with an open mind, visit. If you like it, stay. You just gotta do it. Just go, but have an open mind. What about you?
I guess my advice will be more specific to people who want to be an idol or be a trainee. I think that you have to go in knowing that you're you regardless. Like there's only so much you can do to make other people happy. So before you go there, you have to make sure that you're really comfortable as you can be in your own skin. Obviously, none of us are completely confident 100% of the time, but I think that just for the sake of your mental health, it's very important to fully accept yourself before you go there, because everyone's going to try to change you. And you have to have that inner worth and that inner confidence and be proud of your heritage, be proud of your roots. You know, I would always look back and remember, you know what, my mom went through the civil rights movement. My mom sacrificed. So whether or not people want to, you know, mixed, black, whatever they want to say, cool. My mother went through it and sacrificed, and that's why I'm here. And that's what would give me pride and strength when I started just feeling invisible and down on myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good advice. Wait, can we just let's talk about race? It's about race. No, can we be like really real for a second?
We were supposed to be being really
I
real
thought
the
the
whole
whole
time.
time.
No.
That's why I talk so much.
Okay, because I remember when you first called me, you were
Yes.
talking about like how
She made
people
me be really real.
how people were asking you if they thought that they could be an idol if they were a certain skin color or whatever.
Yes.
But do you guys think Korea is ready for idols not Korean or Asian?
Like ready?
Like Chinese? Japanese?
Like not Asian.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't think ready is the word, because I think it's an evolution. Like obviously me being there was a step in the right direction.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't like the end all be all, obviously, and I think that it depends. It's on a case by case basis, because I found someone who was ready to take a chance on me. You know, so he wasn't speaking on behalf of the whole industry when he scouted me, but he was saying, I'm down. Like I think it's cool. So I think when it always starts with one, it always takes one. And I think that now, especially with the success of K-pop, like so internationally, I literally do, like from the bottom of my heart, like being as real as I can be, I really do believe it's only a matter of time before K-pop is a lot more diverse.
Wow.
I really do, because just how big it's getting, it's like people want to be represented. It's like you don't want this relationship with K-pop where it's like, I love you, but you don't love me.
Yeah.
So it's like that reciprocal relationship. Like when girls saw me on stage, it was like, oh, K-pop loved me back. And I love that, you know? So I truly do believe that it's headed there.
Cool.
Yay!
I agree that I think it's definitely time for us to see a lot of change in just every industry. Because like even here in America, I can't think of like a big pop artist who's like Asian. Who do we have here?
I don't know, but I feel like this is the thing. I feel like they get like there's a lot of artists who are signed and have a shot and don't break. Like I've been in this business,
Right.
you know what I mean? And it's like I've seen like, I mean, diversity is. I think this industry is far more open than K-pop by like a lot, especially even Hollywood. They're like really making a push. Like, yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think K-pop is specifically not diverse.
So but I agree with you. I think it's just because like America specifically is a diverse country that we're seeing so much like rapid change, especially nowadays. Whereas like in Asia it will be slower, but I think it's still possible.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be a K-pop star, but I want to be like a ballad singer. You know, so
Okay, we got the
Yeah,
pipes
I
on.
mean, you
Let's
know
talk
Greg.
about
Okay. What's the time?
No, do you know?
Is that what that was?
I think someone mentioned Greg.
You
I
know
don't who
Greg?
that
He's a
is.
black guy from America. I don't know where, but he's a singer in Korea, and he's pretty pretty successful.
Okay.
So it's definitely.
But is he an idol?
No, he's a ballad singer.
Because I
Chris
feel like
wants
it's
to be.
different. Like I feel like it's different. Also, I think there's a lot of comparisons that get drawn between like other like non-Asian artists, and they're like comparing it to being an idol, but it's not the same thing.
Right.
Like there's just something about the machine of K-pop and
But-
the idol machine that's like
So
this
that's
is what
my
we want,
question,
this is
though.
what we don't want.
Even if somebody is American and they try to be an idol, do you think they can actually truly be themselves and still be an idol? Because it is a machine, and it is very like cookie cutter. You have to look like this, whatever. So, can we like actually get in this industry and be a successful idol without totally losing who we are?
I think I stayed myself while being an idol,
Yeah.
like to a very large degree. I think where I lost myself a bit was emotionally and mentally. Like I feel like I lost a bit of like my confidence, maybe a little bit of just who I was in that sense. But I felt like I made it a point to like stay representative of who I am and what my culture is. And it worked. Like people embraced it, you know, like it wasn't always easy. It wasn't like always smooth sailing. Like, yeah, you do you.
Yeah.
You know, but I think like if you play it in the right way, you kind of have to stand your ground. And yeah, it's going to be a little friction sometimes. But I really do think that there is room for that. It's just maybe not like going to just explode all at once, but it's always just a process. I think we're headed there.
Because I guess, because obviously I haven't gone through the music industry, but I guess being a teacher, like in Korea, like when the going got tough, I always knew that I could get out of it. And so like when it got to a point that I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't have to do it anymore, and I could just come back to America. I could change countries. And I think like when many people want to go to Korea, maybe if they want to be a K-pop star, because it's so difficult, as you told us, like it's so difficult. I think it's going to take a lot of people who are willing to stick it out.
Yeah.
It's because some people like you debuted like super fast. Like you were like on a plane, then a few weeks later like, you debuted. But even like most people who are Korean don't debut for like years.
Like 8 years?
So you have to.
So you have to like persevere.
So it weeds out people who just can't. Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's more difficult for like foreigners who are trying to go to Korea to be a K-pop star because like maybe a lot of people may not be willing to wait 8 years.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to take a lot of foreigners or a lot of black people who really want to do it, really have to persevere for several years in a country that's not your own, where every day you might feel like you're on the outside. And I think that's what the biggest like wall is going to be. People who are going to be able to persevere.
Yeah.
And I really felt like I was persevering while I was in the group. You know, like even though I wasn't in a training process, like I felt like it was more pressure because then it was like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to be the example of why there can't be a black K-pop star, you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to be like a negative thing. So for me, even when it felt like I really can't take it anymore, I really just want to stop, there was like so much holding me that I was like, nope, like I'm just gonna go. Because and at the same time, I was living my dream, and when I look back, I really do like I love it. Like my time there, I only see like it's like beautiful when I look back. It's like when I zoom in, like I'm writing a book, and so then it's like, oh my gosh, like this was horrible. But when I like just look back, it's like I just remember like all the beautiful, like the Korean fans and the international fans and the armies performing at the army. Like I just remember this like beautiful montage. You know, even though it wasn't just sunshine and rainbows. But I feel like like if you have enough will to persevere, that is a big part of the battle.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Whitney Bay, you want to go be an idol with me in Korea?
No.
We can start our own group.
He's like, why didn't you invite me? You're invited too.
Oh, I'm good, guys.
You can be the rapper. I cannot rap.
I'm the leader.
Okay.
Get it straight.
I'm the maknae. Oh my God.
And lead vocals. You'll be lead dance.
I'm the manager.
No, you're the lead dancer. You're always breaking it down.
I drive the van.
Okay, well, we tried to keep it as real as we can for you guys and clear up rumor versus reality. And send in your questions, send in your comments, and get ready for the next episode of Let's Talk About Race. I love it.